Hello and welcome to the Muse Talk. My name is Gadade Akusegbefia. This is where I call my safe space. It's where I get to speak with artists, get to understand their craft, how it started and how the journey is going and what the future looks like for them. Today's episode is brought to you by the Muse Studios. They're experts in recording your audio pieces. So it could be music, it could be spoken word, it could be voiceovers, whatever it is. If it is audio, they are your people. Just call the number on your screen and they will sort you out. We'll take a quick break, but do not forget to like, share, comment, and do not forget to subscribe. We'll be right back.
Hello, my name is Nino and you're watching the Muse Talk.
Hello, my name is Davi Amifa and you are watching the Muse Talk.
Hello, my name is Philippa, and you are watching the Muse Talk. Stay tuned.
Hello, this is Gringo. This is the Muse Talk. Catch you live.
Welcome back. It's still the Muse Talk. My guest today is a very special human being. She goes by the name Mohammed Suglo Nura. She's a spoken word artist, an amazing one. Hi, girl.
Hi.
How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm fine. I love your hair.
Thank
you're so
you.
bold. Pink
Thank
hair.
you. Yeah.
How does it feel like walking around town with pink hair?
I mean, you get all the stares around.
And you're like,
people
oh,
staring
okay,
at you
she's
like,
bold.
But I love it. So.
But why did you decide
go
to
with
do pink, though?
I just wanted to feel like feminine a bit. Like,
Okay.
yeah, pinky.
Pinky.
That kind of thing, yeah.
But it's not your favorite color, is it?
I don't really have a favorite color. Like any mood I'm feeling, I just
Okay.
go with it. So
Okay.
I try bold colors like orange, purple, red. Yeah. I
It
just
looks good
like
on
to
you.
push boundaries.
I think the only number colors I have done when it comes to hair is I've done a wine,
yeah.
I've done a blonde,
Blonde
I've done a
quite
brown,
bold. Yeah.
sort of like ginger.
Yeah.
But I've not
reddish
tempted.
brown,
Yeah,
that kind of
I've
color.
not tempted the pink
Trust
and
me,
the
you should.
sea blues
You
and the
should
things.
try pink and blonde
Oh,
combination.
it will look good, eh?
Perfect. Looks beautiful. Or
Interesting.
green and blonde. Yes.
Okay.
Perfect.
Wow, I'll
Yeah.
try it.
You should.
It looks
You
good.
should.
So, Nura, you're a spoken word artist.
Yes.
I mean, reading your bio, you said your first piece was what, in kindergarten?
Not my piece, but like the first time I performed. Yes,
okay.
like on stage in public was in kindergarten. I think KG2, we're having the speech and prize
Given day.
Yes. And
did you have to memorize the piece?
Yes.
How old were you then?
I think I was 5. I think, yeah, 4, 5. Yes, I was 5.
And you had the brain to memorize. Was it a long piece?
Not very long, but I think my teacher then gave me the piece to memorize, and I was so happy. I was so proud.
Okay.
I went home. I was like, I'm reciting a poem.
You're so bubbly around.
Then the day came. My family was there. I got to get on the stage. It was Black is Beautiful. That was the name of the poem. I don't forget it, and none of my family does, because that was like my first ever poem. Yes,
that's interesting.
Yes.
So how did you go through the process of learning that poem then?
So I can't really remember specifically, but I think I rehearsed at home. My family, my mother helped. I kept reciting to her, and my teacher helped as well. So we did the final rehearsal, and then that's all I can remember from my memory. And I got on stage. So I did the Black is Beautiful. Is it People of Africa? Something. I'm forgetting. But yeah.
That's interesting.
Yeah, that's where it all started.
Okay, it started so early for you, as in performing on stage. But moving away from that, did you right away know that that's what you wanted to do, or it took you some time, probably go
Absolutely
to GSS?
Not.
Okay,
not
so take us through the process.
So from kindergarten, I never ever did anything poetry till I got to junior high. And junior high too, it wasn't like something I took seriously. It was like I was just like, okay, I've done poetry before when I was young. Let me just try. We had this school, was it a fair or something? So I was like, okay, let me do the poetry aspect of it. Let me just So I performed at our speech and prize giving day. We had some couple of programs I performed at, but it wasn't something that I knew, oh, I'm going to do poetry or I love poetry. I mean, I just did it. Then straight to senior high school. That is when my love for poetry became really intense, because I joined the Readers, Writers and Debaters Club and we did all sorts of reading, debating, like poetry, anything to do with literature, and you get it. So that was what the club was about. I joined. I became like acquainted with the president of the club, and there was this lady I remember. Is it Miss Rubaba? I remember she was having. I think she was a former member of that club. So she was having a book launch. She had a book of like collection of poems that she put
Okay.
into a book. She
Mm-hmm.
was about to launch it. So was were to like memorize poems from her book and also outside her book, like other poems that
Mm-hmm.
popular poems that we know of. Myself and I think three others. So we went to the launch, we performed, and the euphoria, the feeling, it was just the whole process from memorizing, practicing, rehearsing the lines and the stanzas and the emotions like behind the poems.
Mm-hmm.
Everything was amazing. That was when I just came to this realization like, ooh,
Oh, this is what I
this is,
want to
yeah, I love
do.
this. I love the feeling. I love everything about poetry.
Mm-hmm.
And I was quite a bit hesitant, but then um, I got like major and massive encouragement from the president of the club, as well as this guy. I've forgotten his name, but he was very close to the lady launching the book. So
Okay.
he saw like the potential I had. He was like,
Mm-hmm.
"You should really consider like doing poetry like big time."
Big
So
time.
from there, I took a chance. I just said, "Okay, let me write my first piece, like my first original piece."
Okay.
So I wrote it. Was it? I think it was called "Oh That Fateful Day." So I wrote it and I took a chance. I performed it at our school. We had this thing called MTS.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like the whole school comes together. You sit. It's like, as it. It's not worship, but it's like you get it. Everyone
It's a
comes together. It's like
gathering where you can.
congregation exactly.
Okay.
So I went in front. I was a bit nervous. I'm like, okay, let's do this. Let's do this. So I just got into character. I
Mm-hmm.
delivered it. It was beautiful. That was like one of the most amazing moments of my life. I never forget it.
Mm-hmm.
There was cheers and applause and everything. It was just beautiful.
You know,
So that's how it started.
back in school, I remember all those people who belonged to that debaters, writers club.
Yeah.
I saw them to be some true no banjo people. Like
Mm,
they felt they could speak English better than any other
anybody? Yes.
person. They walked
Anybody
around
else?
campus with their shoulders high.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
felt they were
yeah.
just two no people.
No, not at all. Maybe those you knew of, but we
Oh yeah,
weren't like that.
they,
We're
you
too
should see
chill,
them. Like
right?
I don't understand what
We're
is
too
that.
chill. We're too chill for that.
You know,
Yeah.
so before that, you've been performing people's pieces.
Yes.
So the first piece you wrote was your original.
Yes.
So
My original.
how were you able to put both together? Like, okay, I've been reading someone's pieces.
Yeah.
Now I want to write. How do I carry that and add to my craft and make it,
Yeah.
something pleasant for people to
To
listen to?
listen
How were
to.
you able to do
Yes.
that?
So initially, I wanted to go into poetry. I started poetry, but I felt like it wasn't something that would appeal to most people because they wouldn't understand it. And it was quite a bit difficult for me, like as at that age starting out, it was quite difficult. I tried one like poetry in itself, like I used all the rules of poetry on
Mm-hmm.
that. It didn't really sound like it wasn't something that could move people, that could you get it. So for me I decided to like divert into spoken word, and I got like major inspiration from like the poems I read
Mm-hmm.
from other people, other
Sure.
poets. I get like if the person writes something like, let's say, a love piece, right? I read it, I try to immerse, like put myself in the situation. What am I feeling? What emotions am I feeling? What is it meant to convey? Then I
Mm-hmm.
get that, I put in my own words, try to imagine a different scenario that is particular to me or unique to
Mm-hmm.
me that I feel people can also relate to.
Relate
Or I
to.
try to improve on that feeling. Whatever I'm feeling, I try to improve on it. Add a little bit of something that would, create this kind of
Mm-hmm.
response, right?
Okay.
To generate this kind of
Mm-hmm.
response from the public. Then I put into my piece, I put my all, and I just write. I
You know,
just
you
go.
make it sound like it's so easy, like it's an easy journey. Don't you ever get writer's block? Because I
Oh, I
cannot put two and
do.
two words together to
I
make
I
sense,
do.
like you guys
Trust
do.
me, I do. Like I've ever gotten writer's block. I think it was for months. I remember it was for like it should be like 4 or 5 months. Like I couldn't write. If I pick my note, I usually use my phone. Like that's my best friend, my notes. So anytime I pick my notes and then I start to type, I'm like, nah, this sucks. Then I just put the like
Mm-hmm.
trust me, for like 4 to 5 months straight, I couldn't write anything. But then when it comes, like when it's like a switch, when it just comes,
It
like
keeps
I can write
going.
like 10 pieces and I'm not shaking. Like, yeah, it just comes in. I'm just
But
flowing and
what
flowing.
causes this writer's block thing? What causes? Is it that you don't have an idea of what you're writing, or you could have an idea,
But
but
it's
how to
just
go
not.
about the writing process? What causes it?
Sometimes I don't know for others, but I feel sometimes I'm speaking from my personal experience. I feel sometimes you can have something called imposter syndrome kick in. You're like,
Okay.
I don't think you've written. People have loved the previous ones. You just want to make sure this one is like far better than the next, like the ones you've already done.
Mm-hmm.
So you're looking for something special, but that something special is not clicking. So you've done something that's amazing. You're writing something that, but you just don't feel like it's right. So you're like,
Okay. You feel it's too
I feel like,
ordinary.
yeah, like you feel like an imposter. Like, was I even meant to do this at all? If I can't like create
Mm-hmm.
something better than what I've done. So imposter syndrome can contribute sometimes to like burnout. Either you're stressed about something in your personal life, or you just can't put. Some people use stress as a like way to write.
To
Like they
write,
get the stress like or the down times in your life, and then
and they
they're
pour
able
it
to
out.
exactly. But sometimes too, like when you're really extremely stressed, you can't just get in the zone. You get
Mm-hmm.
it, yeah. So that's what I feel
Oh, okay. So
is the
within
cause.
this 5 or 4 months where you're experiencing the writer's block,
Yeah.
what do you do to keep yourself together? How do you go through it smoothly?
Uh, it's not smooth. Honestly, it's not because it gets really frustrating. You start and then you can't like even complete a piece. So you have people who have heard your poetry, or people like who like look up to listening to more of your
Mm-hmm.
pieces, or places that you've performed that they call you and you're like, nah, I don't think I have my old piece to perform. Like I've performed it several, I'm tired. Like
You
I
want
don't
a
have
new one?
anything new.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. And it's frustrating because the imposter syndrome like it magnifies. Like it's like, am I really meant to do this? Like why can't you just put something together? Like that's it's not easy. But
Yeah.
once you get out of that zone, like you're just on a roll.
Mm-hmm.
So once I get into my like I get inspiration to write, I just make sure even if I can get like 30 pieces, I just do it because
Okay.
I don't know when it's gonna be lost again. So
Mm-hmm.
I just yeah.
But what's your style? What's your style when it comes to spoken word?
My style. I don't have a particular style. Um I just go with the flow, honestly. Like I just it comes from my heart. I obviously apply like rules of poetry, and
Mm-hmm.
but then I try to like um I try to send a message. That's my major concern.
Okay.
I, I work I work on the lyrics. Sometimes I write. I leave it for like a week. I edit. You get it.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't have a particular style.
Style. Okay. You
Yes,
just go with the flow.
yes. Yeah. I don't think I have a particular style.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, I
Mm-hmm.
just write what I feel. I make sure it's nice. It's appealing. It's evoking the kind of
Okay.
response I want.
So
Yes.
aside being part of the writers club in school,
Yeah.
did you study poetry anywhere else?
No.
Probably on a degree level
Mm-mm.
at a point, because I know you did something else in university.
Yes, I did. I had a bachelor of science degree in business administration.
Okay, so
Yes.
how did you switch to that? Why didn't you go
So,
like, okay, I'm good at this. Why don't I further into maybe performing arts or something
mhm.
poetry related?
So let me give you a backstory.
Okay.
And I've always loved. I don't know if it stemmed from when I was young, but as far as I can remember, I've always loved like reading books. I used to read a lot of novels, especially in junior high. So I was a library prefect in my school. With
Okay.
my best friend was my assistant. We were always in the library. We go. We tell the library
Librarian.
patron, yes, that we're organizing books. We'll sit down, we read. We have book challenges. We read Harry Potter in 5 days. Order of Phoenix. We read it in
Goodness.
5. Yeah, in 5 days.
You're
Like
one of those students, eh?
yeah, we used to. We're crazy. Like
Okay.
we're literally crazy.
Mm-hmm.
So with that, like I just developed this. I even got to a point I was like, okay, we're going to write our own like movie. So we wrote our own scripts as at that time, junior
Okay.
high school. But like I just and my uncle had this production company, so I was trying to get him to like shoot
Didn't work.
you know, not at all. Never it never worked. It never worked. I'm sure he was just like,
Mm.
okay, these
What
kids
are
are
these kids doing?
so he was like, oh, don't worry, it'll happen, but
Never
never
happened.
happened. Yes, so that's where it started, like it
Mm-hmm.
stemmed from. So I just so straight to senior high school, I was still interested in those things. I joined the Readers Writers
Mm-hmm.
Debaters Club. So from there we did a couple of debates, but then I found my footing in poetry, the poetry space. So I later on went on to become the Readers, Writers, Debaters Club president.
President.
Yes, after the one, so she handed over to me. I actually took it the reins from her quite early because we're
Oh,
supposed to get it in level form 2. Yes, but I took it from her in form 1. She was in 3 at the time,
okay.
so I took it for 2 years. I ran it for 2 years, and I handed over.
Hmm.
So yes, so that's I just loved it, and I also love business marketing. I majored in marketing. I love marketing entrepreneurship, so I decided to do that as my course in university, and I still engaged in like poetry, like went to poetry events. I was still
Okay.
engaged in my poetry, and
Okay.
yeah, so maybe in the future I can see if I can get like take some courses in
Important
yes,
spoken
yes,
writing or
those
something.
things, yes,
Hmm.
theater, and yeah,
So do
maybe
I take
that's
it that aside poetry, you do
yeah,
something else in terms
yes,
of profession?
yes. So
Okay. What do you do?
I currently work. I'm on a contract with an agri company.
Okay.
Yes, but then before that, I owned a restaurant called
You
Up.
owned.
Yes,
Interesting.
yes. So I started the restaurant in level 400, second sem when we were just about
Okay.
leaving school. So
Okay.
it's called Upsies Restaurant.
Op
Upsies.
opsies.
Yes,
Okay.
it's an Afrikaans word. It means options. So
Okay.
when you come here, we
Okay.
have options. Like
Mm-hmm.
yeah. So we used to sell fried rice, those jollof, noodles,
Okay.
shawarma. That was
Also
like our
continental
staple.
kind of dishes.
Yes. So shawarma was like the major. Like
Mm-hmm.
a lot of people
Do you
run to
still run
shawarma.
it?
Sadly, no.
Why? What happened?
Ghana's economy
Happened.
killed it. Yes, happened to it. Honestly, it wasn't easy. And
Mm-hmm.
right up, I think the mistake I made was, so you know, like the workers in Ghana, especially if you're starting out, you have to like be like, you have to be there.
You have to be present.
Exactly.
Yes. Yes.
And I was
Yes.
doing my service, so I
Mm-hmm.
couldn't be present.
Present.
So I kept on changing workers after workers, trying to see if one of them at least is responsible enough to lead the others to
Mm-hmm.
work well, but it
Unfortunately,
wasn't
none of
working.
them.
None of them. So I kept on firing, rehiring, but it just wasn't working. And the economy just fell right about that time. I was at work, I couldn't, and I had a delivery company as well. Yeah,
Oh.
Upsies delivery. So it was just too stressful. I'm like, you know
Okay.
what?
Let it
Let
be
me
on
just,
hold.
yeah, for now,
Like
let me
the dream
just.
has not been killed though. It's just on hold. Later.
Maybe, yes,
Later when you
later.
have the time you
Yeah,
can man
yeah,
it
and
and
the enough resources, I'll
yeah.
just like double into that again.
Hmm.
But yeah,
So how are
that's
you able
about
to
it.
juggle working for the great company
Yeah.
and doing poetry and living your personal life?
I try. I
How do you
try.
try? I want to
I
learn from you.
um so I just do what I have to do. With poetry I get inspiration sometimes at night. So I just write. I put it aside. Whenever I have the inspiration to edit and whatever again I just do it. But
Hmm.
then now I'm trying to delve into like poetry like full time.
Full time, okay.
Yes. But then it's not exactly a space where you can heavily dependent financially. So
True.
I still want to have
True.
something on
On
the
the
side,
side.
yes. And the work I do is not so demanding,
Yeah.
so I do manage it well, quite
Okay.
well, yes.
So it's not like a strict 9 to 5,
No,
Monday to
not at all.
Friday
No,
job as
no,
and when.
no. Yes. So as and when like work springs up,
Hmm.
it's agric, so it's
Yeah.
seasonal. So as and when like the excuse me, as and when the farming season like starts and you get it just like that,
Okay.
and it's not so demanding, so
Yeah.
I
You know,
just do
you
what I
you
have to
you
do.
you changed your name from Nuro the poet
Yes.
to Nurahverse,
Nurahverse,
and it looks
yes.
like it was a whole transition on its own. Tell me about it.
It's a long story, but let me make it short.
Okay, don't worry. I have all
So
the time for you.
yes, so actually I used Nero the poet because I couldn't think of any other name, and I wanted to be identified as a poet. That's the first reason. So I was doing like poetry, just strictly poetry. But now I feel like poetry, the spoken word, and I want to take my art further, right?
Okay.
So I want to open up. So Neuroverse it stands for the verses that I spit and
Mm-hmm.
write, at the same time my own universe. right? So
Okay.
when you listen to my poetry, it's welcoming you into my universe. So Nurahverse, so it stands for two things,
Mm,
and I transitioned to that because I want to open up,
okay.
and I want to do art. Like, I mean, I actually do abstract arts, like
Mm-hmm.
art in itself.
Paintings.
Yes, I
Okay.
do. I have abstract arts hung up all over my room. Yes,
Oh, interesting.
and I also want to delve into music. So probably collaborate with like musicians, do
Okay.
something around music.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't just want the poet alone attached. Like, you get
Mm,
it.
indeed, it's a whole universe on its own.
Exactly. And
Interesting.
the second reason too is there's also someone with Nura the poet, right?
Yeah.
And I don't want my brand to be confused with another person. I mean, I didn't like patent the name or anything,
Yeah.
so I
So.
just wanted to rebrand and move into
Mm-hmm.
something. Yes,
Mm-hmm.
so someone else has Nura the poet, and
Mm-hmm.
it's pretty confusing. People call me up. Are you? I saw you on this flyer. Are you performing? I'm like, no, that's not me. That's so you get it.
Yeah, it
So
gets
I just want to
confusing.
move away from like just enter a new phase and a new era with regards to my art. Now that's what
Sure,
I like to call it.
sure.
Yes.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
You mentioned that you're planning on going into poetry full time.
Yes.
Is there a special reason why you know very well that it's not so heavy when it comes to finances, but you still want to go into it full time? Is there a special reason?
Yes. So with Nurahverse, I kind of have a plan. I mean, I actually have a plan. I'm trying to revolutionize like how poetry and art is seen or perceived or accepted within the Ghanaian
Mm-hmm.
society and community as a whole. So I'm trying to create or um, reinvent like avenues and ways that poets and artists can make like money
Some
or
good
yes,
money.
exactly. So I did marketing, so I want to put that knowledge to
Ah,
use, right?
okay,
So I want to start
okay.
with myself. If I'm able to market my idea, my
And it
concepts,
works.
exactly, I can expand and
Mm-hmm.
there. Yeah.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
So you're Muslim.
Yes, I'm a Muslim.
How do they accept what you do? Did they find it interesting, or did they find it? What is she
So
doing?
one very interesting thing. So the Muslim community, actually, when I started the poem, like reciting, I used to perform more at Muslim functions, right?
Okay.
So we had this thing, there's this thing called JIMSA, so it's Ghana Muslim Students Association. So I used to perform in at the senior high school level.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, I used to perform at events. On fast forward to university, when we have hall weeks and we have the
Mm-hmm.
Muslim is it on Fridays they have this Muslim, I forgot what it's called, but I used to perform like
Okay.
from hall to hall. You
Mm-hmm.
get it? Yes. So they were actually accepting of my art.
Mm-hmm.
Now I've moved away from strict
School
like yes and religious kind of
poem.
poetry
Okay.
to like
Other things.
everything. Like
Mm-hmm.
I'm just yeah. So I don't know now. It's I mean when I transitioned some time back, it was quite hostile a bit.
Why was it
Some people, I
hostile?
mean, some people still like there are some people, no doubt, they were still like lovely, amazing. Um, some too. I mean, I don't want to delve deeper into that. A few people, let me just say a few, weren't so receptive, and
Okay.
that's part of life. If you're changing or you're moving, and people don't
Yeah.
really love change,
Mm-hmm.
they're not
Not everyone
easily
changes with
accepting
you, anyways.
exactly to change. So yeah, I just accepted it and moved on. And those who love me and appreciate my work, I still roll with them. I still chill with them. So
Mm-hmm.
much love. Yeah.
So how do you see the spoken word industry in Ghana here? How do you see it? Do you think there's a future, or we should just
Yeah.
stop and do other things?
I think it has like a lot of potential, a lot. And I've heard like amazing poets like Jewel. I mean, everyone from my
Mm-hmm.
Castle is amazing. Obviously, I've heard Negus the poet. We have there's Abrantia, there's Nanak, there's a whole lot of
Mm-hmm.
people that are doing amazing with their poetry, and yeah, I feel like it has massive. The Zaid too is very good, one good
Mm-hmm.
poet. Um, have like amazing
Mm-hmm.
potential, yes, when it comes to the spoken word, but then the problem is the marketing. We don't know
Mm-hmm.
how to sell the
Yeah.
brand. we create amazing content, but we don't know how to sell it,
Mm-hmm.
right? To reach a wider audience, to get people to love and appreciate what we do,
Mm-hmm.
and to also get the reward, the financial reward for it. So that's what I'm
I
thinking about.
wonder. I wonder what we can do differently as artists. I wonder, aside presenting it or
Yeah,
performing it at a gathering
yeah.
or putting it on social media for people who are not close to you to see. I really wonder what can be done differently.
I feel number one, social entrepreneurship, and also how do you call it? Networking also, and we can also have something like content marketing, right? So now that's the order of the day.
The content marketing.
Exactly, like people love content. So if you're able to figure out a way to incorporate your art or your spoken word poetry into something relating to content creation, right? So you can, I don't know if some, I'm sure some spoken word artists are quite funny. I'm not really funny myself, so I just like to laugh, but I'm not really funny. If you're quite funny, you can incorporate your art into something like people can laugh at, but then at the same time, it's sending a message, right? So they watch the content, maybe a skit, the poetry is fused in there,
Okay.
they can laugh at it. You see,
Mm-hmm.
those kind of things, or various other forms of content out there. You can just do something that's like content. You market it that way, and you can get more. You can have a heavy presence on TikTok, TikTok, Instagram Reels, YouTube Shorts.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, so those like channels are there. They can give you the virality if you have the right content.
Mm-hmm. So the order of the
Yeah.
day is social media,
Yes,
actually.
exactly. Yes, content and the social capital. I mean, networking and all of
Mm-hmm,
that.
mm-hmm,
Yes.
mm-hmm. So you have graced a number of stages, including
Yeah.
Halakasa's top party.
Mhm.
And how has the experience been like from state to state to state? How would you describe that
Mm,
experience?
amazing. Nothing short of amazing. It's been amazing. So, um, I I think Dad in Baki. I did Dad in Baki. I did
Mm-hmm.
Nibala poetry. Um, Halakasa top party. There was this. I forgot what the event. It was this program they did 2 times at the British Council. Um, University stages. I mean, like programs and all of that.
Yeah.
Yes. So it's been nothing short of amazing. I've had a blast each and every single time I perform.
Mm-hmm.
I just put my all. I get into my character, my zone, and boom, I'm gone.
You know, they say that
Yeah.
once in every artist's life would be blank on stage. Have you gotten to that space yet? Where you're performing and for
It
a
just goes.
second
Yeah.
you're blank. Nothing is coming to mind. Have you been there before?
Once
How
I
did you go through
remember.
it?
Oh
Do you
my
just run
god.
off stage or just froze on stage?
So, luckily for me,
Uh-huh.
so the performance. I can't even remember because it was just too. Like I felt like just collapsing, like just digging a hole in the
Mm-hmm.
ground,
And
and
just boom.
yeah, because what stage was it in school? I was reciting, yeah. Then I got to the next. No. Sorry, it was at. Was it Dadimbaki? I'm trying to. Yes, Dadimbaki. What edition was that? I think it was the second or so. I can't remember. Yes, but it was at school. They're gone.
Mm-hmm.
So the drama studio. I stood on stage, and actually the piece I had was quite a bit lengthy. It was
Mm-hmm.
called Perfect, I think, yes. And I memorized it the day before. Like it was quite impromptu. Like
Okay.
I was called late, like
Mm-hmm.
not very late, but and during that period I was quite busy, so I didn't get time to. So the day before, that's when I started memorizing the
Mm-hmm.
poem. Then the D day, I came extra early to rehearse and all of that. When I was rehearsing, I realized that I was like breaking, like, what is happening to me? I have to get this poem because. So I made someone hold my phone. Then when I forget, the person reminds me. We rehearsed this thing like 15 times. I finally got it. I thought I got it.
Mm-hmm.
I got on stage. Oh my
Goodness. That
god.
feeling.
I got on stage. I started first stanza. So because of that, it didn't even like really give me the opportunity to like perform. Like I was kind of trying to
Yeah,
remember. So
so
I was
now you're
lost in that
remembering, so it
exactly.
doesn't make your performance
Mhm.
fluid.
So the first stanza, I went. Second stanza, third stanza,
Mm.
I said a certain line, but I forgot. Then they started clapping. I was like, "Oh my
Oh,
god,
they
what is
realized
happening?"
you had
Yeah.
forgotten.
So they started clapping. I was like, "Oh my god, help me!" So,
Should have
so I
just
went
ended
back.
there.
No, so I went back to the beginning of the stanza. Then, luckily for me, the second time I remember.
Oh my goodness.
So I really like. So I remembered. Then the last stanza was quite easy for me because it was something that had like a lot of
Mm-hmm.
humor, so I could easily remember.
Mm-hmm.
So with that one, I'm like, you know what? I have to redeem my reputation. I have to salvage this.
Mm-hmm.
So I just put my all. The last one, I really gave the action and everything, and they laughed and then they clapped. But when I went backstage,
You beat yourself up.
trust me,
Yeah.
I didn't take it easy. I was like,
Mm-mm.
no, what the hell?
You know,
What
we
the
are
hell
we
was
are our
this?
first critics,
Hmm.
so you beat
I was like,
yourself up.
nah, what? I'm never. This is never ever
It's
gonna
gonna
happen
happen
to me.
again.
What?
But
So
it
that's
doesn't knock at the door. It just
it.
happens.
Just
So
happens.
you
Yes,
just pray
yes. I've
that
had that
it
before
doesn't come
once, and it
again.
was horrible. It was. Trust me, I don't want to remember. It was that.
So your parents witnessed you perform way back in kindergarten when you were performing your Black is Beautiful piece.
Yes.
Now they have seen you perform. I mean, they've seen you grow in terms of performing your pieces.
Yeah.
And now, I mean, I can say you're a champion of your art. What kind of support do they give you?
They just allow me be. That's the best gift you could give to me. So, the support from afar, and they just allow me be. So,
That's interesting. I love
yeah.
your parents already.
Just allow me. I just do my thing, and
Mhm.
that's it. Yeah.
So, are you working on any projects for the future? What does the future look like for Nurahverse?
Nurahverse, I've already written a couple of pieces. I mean, I actually wrote one to, so
You want to read it out for me or
yes,
something?
I
Okay.
can. I
Let's
actually
go.
wrote one that like kind of um reintroduces myself and my brand, and it's also, I would say it might come off as taking a dig at someone, but it's, I'm not going to get into it. But
Okay.
yes, it's, let me just read it.
Okay, let's go.
It's
I
called
want to
"You
listen
Can't
to it.
Touch Me."
Mm-hmm.
So, ready?
Yes, ready.
I was born to do this thing. Welcome to the Nurahverse. You can't touch me when I'm all wrapped up in my own universe, spitting these verses like I'm multiple versions in this multiverse. You don't come close when we're playing this game. You're the best in reverse. You can't touch me. You can try, but you can only get so close in your dream. It's etched in my brain, the lines, stanzas, and these rhymes that I scheme. You can take my name, but you can't take my clout. I've been there, done that, so I'm taking a different route. For you, I opened my arms, but you cut me with your razor fingers. Now I'm about to cut you with these verses, and I'll make sure the pain lingers. I'm a mystery, I'm a code that you can't crack. Once bitten, twice, I'm not shy, I bite back. I could call you a witch, but you weren't tough enough to wield the name, so I'll just call you a stitch. I'll remove you easily with no pain. I think you thought you had me. Bet that was my alter ego. This is the new me, the Neuroverse. So the old version I wrinkled. It's simple. I'm so high up in this game, been places your shadow couldn't even dream of. You can't touch me. I'm showered with grace, favor, and endless blessings abound. Even my failures are great lessons if you take a look around. Brace yourself, because if you thought this was my peak, we just got started. I've got my family, my circle, my friends. I'm heavily supported. This Neuroverse is a universe that is heavily guarded. You can't touch me. I was born to do this thing. Welcome to the Nurahverse. You can't touch me when I'm all wrapped up in my own universe, spitting these verses like I'm multiple versions in this multiverse. In this race, I only shift to drive. I don't reverse. You can try, but you won't reach me. You can't join. You can't beat me. My Lord is with me, so you can't touch me.
Woo! And that was Neuroverse on the verses.
Period.
Wait, who were
Yeah.
you talking to, Neuroverse? Yourself? Your old self?
Not my old self per se,
Okay.
but yeah, there's
There's an imaginary figure. Whoever can put themselves in there
whoever the
and
cup
accept it.
fits, wear it.
That's
But yeah,
amazing. You know, I with writing pieces or with spoken words,
yes.
um, do you want your pieces to rhyme, or you want to spit out bars, or you want to send an information across?
So I do all.
Okay.
Sometimes I just want. Sometimes I send the information, but then with the rhymes to make it fun and to make it engaging, like it sounds more pleasing to the ear.
Okay.
There are multiple pieces I have, like to all the boys I'd ever love, that doesn't really rhyme, right? It's just sending a message. And there are some that, I just like go. If some of them rhyme, some stanzas, like it's just like that.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. Yeah, that's
That's it.
interesting. To all the boys,
I'd ever love, yeah.
I don't know. Can I hear a little?
Oh yeah.
Okay, to
That's
all
like
the boys
a
who
very
will ever
popular
love.
piece,
I want to hear
yes.
it. I like the
To
title.
all the boys I'd ever love.
Mm-hmm.
My deepest fear is not that I'm inadequate.
Okay.
It is that I'd be a striking force strong enough to crush the inflated ego society helped you create. That my confidence keeps shooting to the roof, and there ain't nothing that walks the earth that can stop me from reaching the stars, heck, above to the galaxies, the Milky Way, and anything beyond there could possibly be. To all the boys I'd ever loved. See, since my mother gave me birth, I was a threat to a chauvinist world. A world that couldn't bear to see me win and thrive and succeed. A world not too thrilled about my existence, so down to the ground I'm hurled. A world that shuts opportunities in my face because I'm too girly and feminine to compete. Swirled and twirled in a world that exclaimed demands. You're too loud, that's too skimpy, don't we deserve a break for once? I remember I was told to look down and keep my shoulders slumped because that was supposed to be humility. As though it wasn't torture enough, I was told to speak less in male-dominated spaces because it signified modesty. But I was born to use my voice and not be tossed around. Ah, you will hear the sound. I won't be bound, I won't be drowned. Ladies, let down the gowns, pick up your crowns, wipe off your frowns, and let us remind this world of what we have become. That we are great and fierce and strength embodied, that they came through our manholes, hence shouldn't be so cocky, that we make their houses homes, we love, we cry, we laugh and condone, that all our emotions make us human, not weak, that our monthly periods are not subjects of mockery, disgust, or discreet, that our love for makeup and beauty doesn't make us catfish
No.
or hungry for attention, that we are not tools for a man's amusement. We did not come to give them company. We were purposefully created, uniquely designed, and brought to be our own
Oh yeah,
symphony.
we were.
Mm-hmm.
You know, there's
Yeah.
something interesting about spoken word. It hits you differently on different days.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
amazing. I don't
Yeah.
know how you put those words together.
Yeah.
I don't think I can ever think of things like that to put
You
together in a
could. You
piece, but
could. It's
that's
just it just takes
amazing. That's
practice. Yeah.
amazing. You know, there's this thing I used to tell spoken word friends of mine, and I do not know whether I have been too hard on them
Yeah.
or I'm just being some way.
Okay.
Do you think women like to feel like they're the victims all the time? Do
I'm
we
not.
have enough of that? Now, can we move away from, okay, I was raped, okay, I was this? What do you think? I don't know. Am I being too hard or am I
So
being, you know?
I'm one not to buy into. I mean, I used to some time back, but then I've moved from that like kind of phase. So I'm not really one to buy into the victim mindset or the mentality, right? But women have also come a long way, right?
Mm-hmm.
A very long way from, and there's no denying what they've been through, the struggles they've overcome,
Sure.
right, to get to this point. So I feel it's still incumbent and it's very important, incumbent on women, and I mean society in general, and very important, essential that we still point out or call out certain things that are still not adequate or like appropriate to be done to women, or like not giving us enough opportunities when we've come this far.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, we're in the 21st century.
Sure.
Also, with regards to certain sensitive topics, right? I feel like I don't it's good to not put yourself as a victim because it only allows society to further trample on you, and it doesn't give yourself the necessary strength and esteem to move on
Yeah.
to bigger
Because you need to
things,
move on.
right?
Yeah.
But also, so two things can exist at the same time, right?
Mm-hmm.
And there can be two truths that exist. I mean, they're not they're not mutually exclusive, right? So also in the same breath, in the same wavelength, those sensitive things, right, if not called out, right, called out in the appropriate manner will also give room or allow room for them to keep happening, and also portray it as such a thing that it's not, oh, it's nothing, oh, they raped you, so move on. You
Yeah,
get it?
yeah.
If you don't put that kind of, don't rape women, or don't, like, you don't put that kind of aggression, or like, don't do this, don't touch a woman up, or don't call a woman like cat names, don't, it also give room for the people who do it, the other gender,
To do
to,
it the more.
oh, Abby is nothing.
There's nothing,
I can
yeah.
just hit your protect and get out. It's nothing. Move on already.
So we
You get
need
it.
to keep drumming it
So
into,
yes,
yeah.
you are drumming it at the same time. You are not stuck in that,
Okay.
right? You
Okay.
pick yourself up. You push yourself. Move on. But then you keep drumming it, because human beings were very forgetful.
Very.
So if you don't keep resounding like, don't do this, you're not supposed to do this, because we've come so far to go back. And the women of that time who fought so hard for us to enjoy the liberties that we do today, they didn't fight for nothing. They shouldn't have fought for nothing.
Sure.
Because they took great pains, arrested, killed, all of those things to get us this far. So we shouldn't take it for granted. We should work more on that, push it, but at the same time, try to get ourselves from that kind of that kind of victim mindset. Oh, I'm a woman, so I'm weak, and oh, they've done this to me. No, you pick yourself up, you move on, but you let it, you resound it. You don't get to do this to me and walk away with it.
Sure.
Because I am a woman.
Yeah.
Period.
Exactly. Exactly.
Yeah.
So Nurahverse. Now you have
Yes.
stormed out of Nura the poet
Nurahverse now.
to Nurahverse.
Yes.
What should we expect from the new face?
Like I previously mentioned, so I'm trying to like open up my art, diversify, do multiple things, work with multiple poets, artists, I mean, musicians, try to open up my art. Probably I'd work on an album sometime to come.
You're waiting
Yes,
patiently. No
yes.
pressure.
And yes, so, and also trying to do content marketing as well, like to really push my brand. Then I'll test a few things this year. If it works, then I can just share my knowledge, because we're all one family in the art space. So
That's interesting. That's interesting. So out there, someone is looking at you and you're like, oh, I can do what she's doing, but I don't have the support. I don't have the motivation to go all out. What do you have to tell them? And probably put your social media handles there so that if someone wants to reach out to you, they can easily do that.
yeah. So on Instagram, I'm Nura_Suglo. But then I'll be changing it to Nurahverse soon. So you can just search for Nurahverse on all, like, across social media platforms. So on TikTok, on Snapchat, what's my handle? I'll just put it there.
Yeah,
for you
we just
to-
write it down
yes.
there.
And with regards to people who want to start out, but then they're either too scared or they don't have enough support. For me, I feel like poetry it gives me the liberation and the freedom to put to words and to say things that ordinarily I wouldn't be able to say out loud, right? So I mean, I get that freedom or the chance to put to words, like put my feelings out there, because it's spoken word poetry, right?
Yeah.
So no one would really like take it as in she's saying this. So just consider it as that, like take it as that.
Yeah.
I'm just speaking, I'm just talking to someone, and then I'm just saying like words. Just start out like that. Then from there you just start like trying to see if you can follow the rules of poetry, and then yes, you just move on from there.
That's interesting, Nurahverse. I had a very interesting conversation.
I did too.
Oh, girl.
I did.
And keep rocking the colors. I mean, I'll join you soon and see how I can do that. That was a very interesting conversation with Nurahverse here on the Muse Talk. Feel free to express yourself in whatever art you find yourself in. I think that's all life is about, right?
Be free.
Be
I
free
love
and do what you think helps you, and have fun whilst you're doing it. And this was the Muse Talk. My name is Gadede Akusegbefi. My guest today, Mohammed Suglo Nura, known as Nurahverse. Do not forget to like, comment, share, and do not forget to subscribe. Today's episode was brought to you by the Muse Hub. They're experts in recording of all your audio pieces, musicals, voiceovers, whatever it is. If it's audio, they're your people. Just call the number on your screens and they will sort you out. Thank you, and I'll see you again. Bye-bye.